Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we're tackling one of the most hyped performance cars in recent memory, the 2026 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1. For Corvette fans, the ZR1 has always been that top dog model, the ultimate expression of what Chevy can do when they throw the entire engineering playbook at a car. Think back to the C6 ZR1 with its supercharged LS9, or even the C7 ZR1 with that massive rear wing and the 755 horsepower LT5. Both were game changers and both proved that the Corvette wasn't just America's sports car, it was a global contender. But for 2026, this thing is on another level entirely. Over 1,000 horsepower, twin turbos, Nürburgring lap records, and technology that puts it into hypercar territory, all while wearing a Chevy badge. So I'm going to walk you through every detail from the styling to the engine to how it feels on the track, the interior, the competition, and ultimately whether the new ZR1 is worth the hype. Stick around to the end because this car has some very real strengths and also has some compromises and even controversies we need to talk about. So taking a look at the exterior design, because honestly, that is the first thing that slaps you in the face when you see the ZR1 in person. The base ZR1 already had that exotic mid-engine shape, sharp lines, low stance, aggressive stance intakes. The Z06 took it up a notch with wider fenders, more pronounced aero, but the ZR1, it looks like the Corvette went to the gym, started taking steroids, and came back in full race car mode. You've got an extended front splitter with active aero flaps that adjust depending on speed and cornering load. The side profile is dominated by those absolutely massive air intakes because 5.5 twin-turbo V8 needs a ton of cooling. The rear end features an aggressive diffuser and one of the biggest wings that Chevy has ever put on the street car. And here's the important part. Everything is fully functional. Chevy says the ZR1 generates around 1,200 pounds of downforce at speed when equipped with the ZTK performance package. That is not marketing fluff. It's comparable to the GT3 race cars. Downforce that high means when you're on the track, the faster you go, the more planted the car is going to feel. I'll be honest, the styling is polarizing. Some people think it looks overstyled, almost like a tuner car with too many vents and wings. Others, and I fall into this camp, see it as exactly what a flagship performance car should look like, unapologetically aggressive. And compared to cars like the Ferrari SF90 or McLaren 765LT, doesn't look completely out of place. That alone is wild when you remember that this is a Corvette. So let's talk about the heart of the beast, the LT7 engine. This is a 5.5 liter twin turbocharged flat plane crane V8. It's basically the Z06 naturally aspirated LT6, but with forced induction, reinforced internals, and a cooling system that looks like it belongs on a Le Mans prototype. And the numbers are absolutely absurd. We're talking 1,064 horsepower and 850 pound-feet of torque. That makes it the most powerful production Corvette in history, and one of the most powerful combustion-only cars you can buy, period. What's crazy is how it delivers that power. With the flat plane crank, you get this exotic, high-revving character. The turbos give it that low-end punch that the Z06 frankly doesn't have. So you can short shift and ride that wave of torque, or wind it past 8,500 RPM and get a banshee-like scream. It's versatile power, not just brute force. Also, the performance stats back it up. 2.2 seconds, 0 to 60s with launch control, quarter mile in 9.5 seconds, and a top speed over 250 miles per hour. Then there's the infamous Nürburgring lap time. The ZR1 clocked around 6 minutes and 50 seconds. To put that into perspective, that's quicker than many track dedicated cars that cost 4 or 5 times as much as this vehicle's MSRP. Now the transmission is the same exact 8-speed dual clutch used in the Z06, but recalibrated for all of the torque in the ZR1. It shifts instantly. Though in daily traffic, it can be a little jerky, but again, this is not a commuter car. Chevy engineers said the hardest part wasn't making power. It was making sure the car could survive lap after lap at full throttle. Cooling, aerodynamics, and drivetrain durability were just as important as horsepower. So that's why this car isn't just a dyno queen, it is a real track monster. So what's it like to actually drive? The short answer is intense. And the long answer is how long you can last inside of it. On public roads, the ZR1 feels overbuilt. The steering is hyper responsive, the suspension is stiff, and you're always aware of that power lurking behind you. It's thrilling, it's intimidating. Step on the gas too aggressively in the wrong situation, and the car will happily remind you that 1,000 horsepower isn't something to take lightly. On the track though, this car comes alive. The steering precision is excellent. It feels connected, not numb like some high-powered GT cars. Mid-engine balance give it that agility and old front-engine Corvettes could not only dream of. You point at a corner and it just rotates. The aero makes a huge difference as well. At speeds where most cars feel light or nervous, the ZR1 feels more planted. That is the magic of functional downforce. Braking is handled by massive carbon ceramic brakes. They bite hard, lap after lap, and resist fade better than the Z06. Now let's talk about daily drivability. The suspension, especially with the ZTK track package, is very stiff. You'll feel every bump, every pothole, every expansion joint. Road noise is high because of the wide tires and lack of insulation. And the dual clutch can feel clunky at low speeds. So sure, you can daily it, but that is not what this car is for. It could definitely throw you on some back roads or on the track, but not coddle you in traffic. Taking a look at the interior of the ZR1, the cockpit feels like a fighter jet. Tall center console, driver tilted controls, and a digital gauge cluster that changes depending on drive mode. For the ZR1, Chevy added features like a dedicated boost gauge, lap timing, and more detailed performance readouts. The infotainment is also improved for 2026. Faster response, better graphics, and wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Chevy also added the over-the-air update capability, which is nice in a world where software is becoming just as important as hardware. So how does it stack up against the rivals? The obvious benchmark is the Ferrari SF90 Stradale. That's a hybrid with around 986 horsepower, costs $500,000, and offers the Italian badge prestige. The Corvette ZR1 matches or beat it in performance metrics at a fraction of the price. But let's talk about the pros and cons before we end the video. You got over 1,000 horsepower, extreme aerodynamics, Nürburgring times to back it up, and a price to performance ratio that embarrasses its rivals. Some of the cons is the harsh ride quality, interior is improved but not exotic level, and Chevy has had issues with recalls. But let me know what you guys think of the Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 in the comments down below. This car is absolutely amazing, but good luck getting one without a dealer markup. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.